Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Doomatron activated. Doomatron activated.
Doomatron's activated. Welcome back to another episode on the Boxing Biz. You know what it is. It's the post-fight show. And man, oh man, a lot of us right now are either real sad or a lot of us right now are real happy, right? And you can only be happy for my man Terence Crawford, who did what a lot of people believed he couldn't do. We spoke about the odds. We spoke about the weight disparity. Can he take the power? Can he do it? He did it. He took the shots. We were wondering, is Terence Crawford going to be able to carry this weight across 12 rounds? A lot of us said he's too big, too fast, put on the muscle too fast. He's going to tire out. And what happened in this fight was the total opposite. He had the gas tank across all 12 rounds with the weight. He looked like a true 168-pounder out there. This means so much. It's opening up so many options right now for Crawford. This was the golden ticket. This is the Canelo golden ticket, right? And not only did he take it with the pay, but then he conquered every disparity that we threw at Terence Crawford. He conquered.
For sure, them belts coming with me.
He was not lying every time he told us, screaming it at us, but we never heard. We never heard him.
I ain't never been down yet.
And still got the O. And shout out to everybody that's tapping in with us on all platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, and IG. Appreciate everybody that taps in. Make sure you hit that like button or heart button as soon as you step in the building so we get this algorithm rolling, right? Can't say it enough, but appreciate it. And this is the, I guess the aftermath of all the results from the undercard as well. Great fights. You had Sergey Boyacek in I'm talking about, there was two fights that stuck out last night. Matter of fact, let me come on. Jam. Boom. There were some fights that stuck out to me. Well, two fights that stuck out to me. Christian Billy, Lester Martinez, and Sergey Boyacek and Brandon Adams. Those were like fire fights, man. Fire fights. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But, they this card, and I know there was a lot of criticism, some people didn't really, Marco Verde did very well. Reito Tsutsumi. Some of these fighters probably you guys weren't really privy to, but pretty good fights overall throughout the prelims. The one that stuck out again was my man Brandon Adams, man. Brandon Adams sort of like the kryptonite to that Sergey Boyacek come forward style. And it wasn't even so much that Brandon Adams was like a boxer and, trying to dodge punches, because he was taking them, but was he giving them back. And you see usually Sergey Boyacek in this like zombie mode when he's hitting you with stuff. But at times I would catch Sergey Boyacek kind of just glancing at Brandon and smiling. Like, it's almost like they knew each other so much from that other fight that it was like, oh shit, we're back here again. And Brandon Adams took that dub ski. Ivan Daichko What do you guys think about that? Matter of fact, I'm going to be throwing some polls up there. Of course, the YouTube family is privy to the polls. If you're on the other platforms, I'm pretty sure they don't go into the other chats, and we'll be working on that, man, because obviously not everybody's on YouTube. But if you make it over to YouTube, of course, the polls are up right now. So I guess I'll read it out for everybody that's not able to see them. It's who was the biggest winner of the night? Terence Crawford, an undercard fighter, or the fans, right? That is the poll that was put up right now. It's at 100% for Terence Crawford. Huge win for Terence, man. Huge. I mean, so much to think about now. And the perspective changes for a lot of us, right? For many of us, you know what I'm saying? And if you're always a believer in Crawford, I mean, more power, right? I was always a believer that he was that guy. He just never got the opportunities, right? And you're only as good as your partner, your dance partner, right? That is the guy you're fighting. So, he was just, basically wood chipping everybody, man. And for a long time, we doubted what he can do. And what are you gonna say now? What are you gonna say now?
I tell him I'm the buckle. It hurt more.
What are you gonna say, bro? You can't say anything now, man. Like Terence he got the crown, bro. Like you can't say anything. He's got the crown. Any doubts on his ability to even fight at 168 are gone, And, he's always made good points telling us that Canelo was, also a smaller guy, but he was just a strong, smaller guy, right? Coming up. And he believed in what he saw. He asked for this fight 2 years ago, said that Bill Haney had kind of threw it in the air, and Terence kind of thought about it, and, he just believed that he could do this. A lot of the power most of the shots that he took, or the power shots that he took from Canelo, weren't flush. That guard was official, man. I mean, damn, bro. I've seen a lot of sparring sessions, y'all. I've been in a lot of gyms. I've seen a lot of sparring sessions. And one thing I always notice, man, when a guy's really confident in his guard, and I even train like this, bro, and I teach people this, the more confident you are in your guard, the more confident you're going to be in your offense, to throw offensively. You know what I'm saying? Some people, if they're not too confident in their guard, they're very, shy and letting some shots loose. But when I see Crawford in there with that little curled up, not all the way closed glove, you know what I'm saying? He got him open a little bit, to cover more of the face. Like, I saw so much intelligence. I was literally sitting here like, wow, he's really going to do it. And remember, I had Canelo. If you guys watched the stream last night, and of course, I had my Canelo headband. You know what I'm saying? I'm still team Canelo. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, well, that was the Kovalev one. Whoops. This was from the zone one. Yeah, I remember Canelo and Kovalev. Yeah, the Canelo, still like a big, huge Canelo fan. We talked about this, right? What does that do for either career in a loss? And even Crawford spoke on it. It doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't really diminish anything. And it's just there's questions now to what do we want to see now? Do we want to see a David Benavidez Canelo? I think that we don't want to now we might want to see Terence Crawford versus David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, do we still want to see that there? I'll put the poll up, matter of fact. That's a good one. I'm going to end this poll. Who was the biggest winner of the night? 100% of you guys said Terence Crawford, which is, of course, the bro is the biggest winner. In the meantime that I put up the poll, shout out to everybody that's tapping in. Again, guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you. The numbers have been looking great, so really, really, duly appreciate it. And as we scale up, man, things will get more exciting. Obviously, I'm working in the back, and preparing some things to see if we do some cool things out here in the boxing biz, bro. So appreciate y'all. And the Q&A on the YouTube is, what moment from Crawford's performance impressed you the most? All right. Question: what moment from Crawford's performance impressed you the most? This is a 12-round fight, bro, that he had to fight perfect. And he did just that. So interesting to hear back from you guys on the comments across the platforms. I'll be checking in also since some of the responses from IG are probably only on that platform. Let me check in on you guys now, actually. All right, we're good. And yeah, do we want to see that fight? Oh, no. I don't know if we might want to see that, but I mean, I'd probably still be interested since all the shit talking that David Benavidez was, talking, saying that he would, destroy him, which it's not that I didn't believe David Benavidez, it's just that now, even though Bud beat him, Bud being that great of a fighter, I'm still watching, most definitely. I would still watch it. It's just that now, like, I'm worried now. Now I'm like, damn, David Benavidez is big as hell. But is David Benavidez a Terence Crawford? You know what I mean? You can't, it's hard to mix and match right there, man. But I'll throw it up right now. Do we still want to see, right, a David Benavidez? Oh, I just put Benavidez, right? See a Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. And that's an interesting, actually, question, man, because, again, the perspectives have changed. All right, polls up. Do we still want to see a Benavidez versus Canelo? It's either a yes or no question. It's up there, man. And, of course, much skill that was shown last night, man. Crawford did everything perfect, bro. Crazy. And I actually, it wasn't just, of course, the main event that impressed or that surprised me a little bit. Or maybe not just so much surprised me, but I guess showed out, Caleb Walsh showed out, got the victory over Fernando Vargas. Fernando Vargas, man, what can I say, man? He was doing good. He caught Caleb with some good rights. I think Caleb Walsh's ability to be very light on his feet, almost like a Taekwondo / Bivol kind of movement, man. He was able to slide in and punch Fernando Vargas at a distance where even when Fernando Vargas was stepping back, he was able to get in there and give some good body work to Fernando. At times I felt like Fernando, again, man, when you're in this guard right here, and we've seen Crawford use it, right? This guard, when you're on the inside, this is the inside guard, right? Because this is close quarter combat when you're in boxing. But sometimes, fighters fall in love a little bit with too much of catching. You're catching so many times, I've seen this shit, man, in the gyms. But people fall in love with catching too many punches, right? With this high guard. If they feel too safe, and it's not a problem to feel safe, man, but it's like you feel like you forget that you're still absorbing punches, and that's counting against you. And I felt like at times my man Fernando could have thrown more. I don't know how it works. I think depending on the chemistry, right, and the team, when you got 3 coaches at the same time telling you stuff, it can work, but there has to be organization in those corners. I don't think I seen this organization, and I just felt like was Fernando Vargas experienced, I guess, enough with three people telling him what to do in the ring, right? You have my man George Capetillo, you had his pops Fernando Vargas, shout out to Senior, and then you had Emiliano too, So you got 3 different voices telling you what to do, and then your adrenaline is pumping. The experience is not quite there, right? Even though he got his 17 fights, but the experience, especially in big fights, you got to build that up, and it's real. It's real, man. People, fights at different magnitudes can impact you differently, and that's all mental. And, things like that. Besides that, Fernando Vargas was catching him with some good rights, but Caleb Walsh was just, again, he just threw more. You've seen the play-by-play punch stats. He got it, And, I'm not saying that any of us, I don't know, some of y'all probably did sleep on Caleb Walsh. I wasn't. I was just, and I let everybody know, I was betting for Vargas Jr. because, I've met the family, great family, and again, I feel like, that's the homies. So That's the reason why I was betting. I didn't even shy away from putting a parlay. I put a parlay with Billy and Vargas. Vargas has some good numbers. And again, guys, you know how we bet, especially in fights like this. You could have gone either way, right? Even though I picked Canelo, I wasn't about to put the house on Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Or so to speak. And I always say it on our show, like, don't lose your shirt. You know what I'm saying? Throw something in there, what you can actually put out. Always, I try to say that in every show, because in fights like this with Canelo and Crawford, they were so close, and not just because I'm not saying it because there is a lot of differences, the weight disparity and everything else, but it was close in skill. If not, you thought Crawford was more of a skilled fighter, but you gave Canelo credit for the experience and the skill that he had attained at this point. So it was close in a sense, but I gave Canelo those the benefit of the doubt on those attributes, to be able to got the loudest text right now, to be able to let me see. Yeah, man. Oh man. And of course, there's been a lot. I think a lot of people know. Oh, sorry, I thought I was mic'd down. Yeah. Oh man. Ricky Hatton passes away at age 46, man. Boxing icon found dead at home in Manchester. Oh, man. Ricky Hatton, bro, the legend, man. Man, UK boxing, man. I know it's more than a legend right now, bro. I mean, in boxing in general. Wow. Man, my gosh. I wonder what happened, man. He was wasn't he getting ready to do a fight or something like an exhibition? Wow. Man. All right. Sad news. Ricky Hatton passes away at age 46. But the breakdown again, wow. Can't believe it. Yeah, so the breakdown as it goes, right? And going back to putting the house on Canelo and stuff. It was fairly a close fight. Just a lot of us gave Canelo the benefit of the doubt of that power and of course the ability to the experience that he had in absorbing the power. It just, a lot of us just thought otherwise, man. A lot of us thought that, Canelo was going to edge it out, all that experience, power, explosiveness. But, Crawford is the real deal, man. His ability to stay calm. Once he knew that he could take some of his punches, man, he was just rolling and catching. He was getting comfortable. And like you heard him in the press conference, he even said it. He was like, at times I wanted to do a little more, but my team was telling me to stay on the game plan, to keep doing what I was doing. It was working. So, and I think it was in around the 6th round that he turned it up a little bit and started engaging a little bit more. And you saw my man Canelo frustrated, bro. I don't know, bro. Look, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the whole, his shoulder's messed up, Crawford's shoulder, that is, and then the Canelo's hand was messed up, and then and then Canelo saying at the press conference that he wanted to do more, but his body couldn't give him more. So I don't know what that meant, but to me, Canelo looked tip top, man. The way he was throwing these punches, and I actually got to see Canelo. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but not that he got mad, but at a time where he really couldn't grab or get a hold of Crawford, he ran at him. He literally ran at him. And that was part of why the headbutt happened, because what he was trying to do is catch him. I know y'all saw the skull movement at the end of the fight. Stop acting like y'all didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? All credit due to my man T-Bud. But you saw that, like, yo, he knew he won the fight so bad that he started running at the end. He didn't want to engage. He knew that at that point, Canelo was the most dangerous too. Canelo was taking risks. And that headbutt, he got mad as hell. But I don't think it was an intentional headbutt. You know what I'm saying? That definitely wasn't intentional. You go back and you see the replays, it definitely wasn't intentional. Let's go back to the actual poll. Matter of fact, I thought I had the poll up. Oh, there we go. All right, the poll is up. Do we still want to see a Benavidez versus Canelo fight? Q&A is up. What moment from Crawford's performance impressed you the most? Go back to the actual stream. All right. And I actually wanted to go through the press conference too, man. The press conference was pretty dope. You saw what Terence Crawford did. Yo, it's just that, yo, Terence is he's an all around good guy too. Came back, gave the belts, you know, to Canelo. You know, it's a good gesture. I mean, it's a very, very straight up sportsman-like gesture, bro. Came back, gave the belts, gave his little daughter a high five and shit. Like, don't be surprised if Crawford is invited to the carne asada at Mexico at Canelo's ranch, B. I'm telling you. That was, and you seen he gave him all the credit. He gave him all the credit, bro. He wasn't, and he said that he was better than Floyd. I don't know about all that. You feel me? Different eras and all that, but that's arguable now. That's arguable, bro. Matter of fact, let me put this out. You see Canelo? Let me put this on actually. All right, I'm gonna play the audio right now.
Or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything.
And just
damn, bro. He said he had everything. He had everything. Y'all remember the Floyd Mayweather? Yo, and Floyd Mayweather, it's crazy because Floyd Mayweather always said, like, yo, the Canelo, he said it in an interview. I'll find it right now and play the audio too. But he said it, man. He was like, you know, Canelo's easy work, you know? And I thought that was just, you know, and of course, that's Mayweather talking like that, right? But that was the attitude that we saw Crawford with. We just didn't believe Crawford. We didn't believe Crawford, bro. But that was the attitude. And, you know, again, we can't, even though Canelo's one of the last quote unquote champions, right, or whatnot, that Crawford keeps saying that you know, he's one of the last elites or whatever. He's on his way out or what, even though Canelo feels like he's still in the game. And this is why I put the poll up right now. If you're just tapping in with us, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Of course, share the program on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. Don't forget about IG, and appreciate everybody tapping in. We're talking Crawford, Canelo, post-fight shenanigans, right? A lot of us are sad. A lot of us are happy. I want to hear about it. So tap in with us on the chat. I'm actually going to put up the StreamYard link on the chat. So if you want to tap in and call in, phone lines are open per se. You know, or the link is open. Tap into the Linkovich, all right? Just threw it up there. I'm going to go ahead and put it up. Star that. There we go. All right, so yeah, you can tap in with the link. Whether you were on Canelo's side or Crawford's side, you know, doesn't matter. We won last night. It was a good night of the fight. We didn't pay a ton of money. Shout out to Netflixy. Shout out to Netflix, man. For real. Everybody was watching, bro. I can't wait to see these numbers come back. Numbers are going to be incredible, bro.
one more. Canelo, it has been, I can't even know the number of years it's been since you've been without a world title. Even after you lost to Dimitri Bivol, you still were the super middleweight champion. It's been probably 10 years or whatever since you haven't had a title. Has it sunk in yet that for the first time in all that time, you're not a world champion?
Damn, yo. I wonder who that reporter was. He put things in such perspective. It's true, bro. Canelo's held the title for a while, man. And this is the first time that there is no title, you know? It's bittersweet, man. It's bittersweet because this is probably his highest paid, contract ever. And I think that Turki Al-Sheikh actually made reference to that in the press conference prior to the fight. So Canelo, bro, one thing you got to give Canelo, bro, is that he dares to be great, bro. He didn't have to. He didn't have to. He didn't have to take the Crawford fight. He really didn't. But he took it. Dared to be great. Oh man. Let's see what Canelo kept saying.
Feel a champion, no matter what. I win no matter what, and I still feel a champion. So it is what it is. You need to take the loss and accept everything. But I'm gonna continue.
My bro said he's gonna continue. Is he gonna continue into what? What's the next fight for him, bro? Like, where does Canelo go now? No title. Like, he's just Canelo now. It's crazy. You know what I mean? But the name itself, wow, man. Is this like the time where, like, is Canelo gonna like start to like take fights? Like, how does Canelo go out? How does Canelo choose to go out? Do you keep on taking risks? Who do you fight at 168? If you're staying at that weight division, there's some real, there's still there's still, top 5. All right. Top 5 is looking all right. I mean, he's already beat Jaime Munguia. He's already beat, who else? Well, he hasn't fought anybody else, just Jaime Munguia, but the top 5 at 168. Christian and Billy, I guess that's Crawford right there. Right? As an interim. And you got Jose Armando Resendiz. See my man, Jose Armando. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna see how that division kind of develops right now. Says, man, Crawford could do whatever he wants to. He's earned it. He's definitely earned it, bro. I'm looking at the rankings and just trying to see where this goes now. But incredible, bro. Incredible performance by Terence Crawford. It was just, I don't know. I don't know exactly where exactly did I see I guess Canelo lacking. It was what I was saying, man. Listen, and I say this in the shows, man. I say this. I said this, Crawford had to fight the perfect fight, but on the back foot, man, the way he was doing it, fighting in pockets, not allowing himself to get into a firefight. He just did everything right, bro. Everything right. Shout out to RP. Says, pop the link. Champ, the link is there, RP. All right, Champy. Shout out to my man Quest. We're going to bring Quest on right now. See what my man Quest thinks about the fight and see who he had as a pick. Quest, what's going on, champ?
What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
I don't know. I was telling everybody, I only know either you're sad or you're happy, man. And I'm happy for, because it was a great fight. Obviously, I had Canelo as, winning. So, I had to throw on the cape last night, bro. Super Bud last night.
So my take is that there isn't one person who's an actual boxing fan who should have a tear in their eye. That's my seatbelt.
Man, sound like you in a nuclear reactor right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, The fight last night caused a nuclear reaction.
Sound like you in a in a fire alarm. Stage
I know.
4.
Sorry, man. I apologize. But yeah. So nobody who's a boxing fan or a fight of contact sport should be with a tear in their eye, and let me explain why. Last night was a display of two individuals who are considered greats in their divisions who decided to say, "Let's do it." Bud Crawford dared to be great and became what he always said he was, which was great and one of the best in his division. He moved up 2 weight classes, said, "I want Canelo." Show me how many other fighters, win or lose, have done that. I can name just a very few, and they're all Hall of Famers. Pacquiao, Mayweather, Canelo, Roy Jones, Andre Ward. If there's anybody who's not a Hall of Famer on that list, let me know. Bud Crawford is now shut up every single person who ever denied his greatness as far as a boxer. Now, it sounds like I'm jumping on the Crawford bandwagon. I had Crawford winning by a decision. However, going back to the original portion of what I was stating, how nobody should have a tear in their eye, Canelo has given the fight fans 12 solid pound for pound top 2 years where he decided that he wanted to be great, where he was fighting individuals who had belts. He unified a division where they were all European. It's not his fault that they didn't have the power, but they definitely had the skill. One of the fighters who exposed Canelo to boxers was Amir Khan. Amir Khan outboxed him for the entire fight until that one right punch was landed and knocked him out. So to me, that was the blueprint, and that was shown way before this Crawford fight or anything that in the past 2 years where people were saying that Canelo might be losing a step, which he was, because he was always looking for that big punch. And that's exactly what it looked like Canelo was doing last night, trying to land that one big punch to turn the fight. Does that show that Canelo's on the back end of his career? Absolutely. Does it show that Crawford stepped up and put up his what would be considered his best performance? I don't think he had his best performance. I think skill-wise, he just showcased it on such a higher level against a higher opponent. His best performance to me was when he destroyed Earl Spence. And he did it as if he was fighting a sparring partner who had two broken arms. Crawford is to boxing right now what Roy Jones was, where he is so good head and shoulders above the people he has fought that it's almost unfair to say he's better than them, and whereas to just say that the fighters he fought weren't as good and they weren't, top tier fighters. Roy Jones fought anybody who was listed as a top 10 contender, just was that much better than them. Crawford has proven to be the exact same thing.
Who did you have? Who was your?
I had Crawford. I had Crawford for decision, and I actually was talking with friends of mine the night of, and I said the reason why I have Crawford by decision is because Crawford has a really slick defense that is underrated, where he protects his body with his elbows a lot, and he has shown that in a lot of his fights, even though he's susceptible to get hit with straight rights when he's in the southpaw stance, his body turns enough when he's getting hit where his movement takes away from the power. I think what Crawford did yesterday was nothing that nobody else could have done to Canelo. It's just people feared Canelo and Crawford didn't.
And what do you still want to see the Benavidez versus Canelo fight?
No. And I'll explain why.
Get the fuck out of here, because I'm gonna fuck you out right now, motherfucker.
I'll take that as a jab, but it missed. So here's why I say no to the Benavidez fight. Unless it's Canelo's last fight and he wants to go out with a bang and have a Mexican fight, then that's a whole different story, and that'll probably be Cinco de Mayo weekend. I don't want to see that fight, because if this was the best version of Canelo that we're going to see moving forward, Benavidez will whitewash him. Benavidez is too tall, much stronger than Crawford will be. And Crawford was hitting him with some amazing left hooks underneath, hitting him with some good uppercuts. And Not that they were shocking the hell out of anybody, because if people watch boxing and they've watched Crawford, they're like, yo, he does this. But Canelo normally doesn't get hit as cleanly with some of these counter punches the way Crawford was hitting him. Not saying Benavidez is going to be a counter puncher in that fight, but Benavidez is carrying the power in that fight and the length. Canelo, it will look 10 times worse than what he did against Bivol. And I honestly think that in that fight, and I respect Canelo, he'll get stopped in that fight.
Damn.
He's not.
So David Benavidez is just as good as a boxer as Crawford. Because I think David Benavidez gets hit a little bit more. You're right, and he's a little bit easier to get hit than Crawford.
No, I agree, but I think the portion that people that people may put to the side is that Benavidez has that length, will keep Canelo at bay. When he decides to bang to the body, those long arms are going to protect Benavidez's face. Now, will Canelo hit him with a couple of good straight rights and straight lefts and maybe land a couple of good shots to the body because Benavidez wants to pound with him? Absolutely. But if you're going to tell me that Canelo at this stage of his career is going to go in there and bang 12 rounds with a guy who can bang harder and probably with the same type of effort as a prime Canelo, I will tell you that you are living in the past. Canelo still has the skill set. He still has his mind, but he said it yesterday in the post fight conference. My body wouldn't do it. When a fighter admits that, he's admitting to you that he's lost the step. He wanted to do it, but he couldn't, and he did it against us.
No, keep going.
And you know, it's not sad to watch a fighter hit that part of his career where it's like, hey, I'm just not that, killer anymore. We saw that with Mike Tyson. We saw that with Roy Jones. We saw that everybody hits a plateau. We saw it with Chavez. It happens. And when it happens, what we need to do is say, hey, there's not much left of greatness here. Let's just simply enjoy what he has left to offer, if there's any more, and say, look at the career he's had. Up until now, he's been the guy that when you tuned in, you're not waiting to see what happens to him. You're waiting to see what he does. And that was Canelo for 12 strong years. And I say 12 and not into his mid-20s after the Mayweather fight, because he was still developing his skills. He was still developing his defense. When he fought, and in that year and a half span, that 18 months, and unified 170, 160 division, you saw not only was his
going out,
at top tier. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's going out.
Hello?
Yeah, it's going out. Try to come in
All
and
right,
come back in. If not,
still?
We'll yeah.
All right.
All right, Quest, thank
Can
you
you
for
hear me
stopping
better?
by, brother.
Yeah.
Hello?
No,
it's still cutting out.
I'll come back in.
All right, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Quest, everybody, giving his take on the Canelo Crawford fight as we continue to move along with the perspective, right, of that's changed now with David Benavidez and a Canelo fight manifesting. Don't know if that it's something that the people want. You're more than welcome to participate in that poll that's on YouTube. If not, you can also go ahead and stop by and comment through the many platforms that are streaming right now. Again, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, X, and IG. Matter of fact, let me check in on the Facebook family real quick just to make sure everybody is tapping in. And we're going to go through the actual interview, through the actual press conference. It was something that I wanted to go through because there were some things said, right? Such as, Crawford saying that he wasn't, his body couldn't go, And as I mentioned before, we just don't know what that means. It could mean what Quest was just explaining, or it could mean that there was an injury or there was something there, Not going to start any conspiracy theories because nothing has been said. And of course, we don't want to take anything from this victory. I think that we did have a good Canelo that was in shape. I just don't know what that meant, or if maybe he wasn't expressing himself right. Like he was trying to do something, but his body couldn't. Was he trying to figure him out or try to do certain things, and then he just couldn't figure Crawford out, or did it have something to do with his actual health or the way he felt in the ring? There's going to be obviously more interviews are going to be popping out, and as we get more post-fight interviews on from all these reporter platforms on the sport of boxing. Okay, so let's tap in to see if we can bring Quest back on too. Quest,
How's the audio?
Got fixed, my brother.
Is it better?
It sounds okay. Yeah, it sounds better. It's not chopping up. It
Okay.
still sounds like you're far away.
All right. Sorry. Just driving and trying to participate at the same time.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah,
So,
what we're talking right now is we're gonna go through the actual interview right now and see what
okay.
what we miss out or what we didn't miss
Fair
out
enough.
on, right?
Yep.
All right.
En resumidas cuentas, ¿con qué te quedas de esta noche, Saúl? Una derrota que te quita los cinturones, pero ¿tú con qué te quedas?
So just for everybody here, what do you take from this night? A defeat, but what do you extract from tonight?
Fue una gran noche para el boxeo. Me siento muy orgulloso de lo que se logró hoy. Como mexicano me siento muy orgulloso de lo que he logrado.
Yo, and I'm going to actually bring this on right now besides us just hearing the audio, because a lot of people had a lot to say of Canelo's face post-fight. He said that he looked like a tomato. But, I mean, that's what his name is, right? It's Canelo. So, I mean, his face is going to be a little crazy, right? Let's see. That's definitely not the one. Now, let's stay at this view then. Let's listen to what Canelo had to say on that. But look at his face. He don't look too bad, right? And I know you're driving too, bro. So,
No. No.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. He doesn't look too bad, but also keep in mind he was getting hit with not the most powerful shots, but it's the accumulation. He's looked like that before in fights where he knocked people out, where there's a little redness. It's just the skin tone and the age starting to kick in.
Man, you really think that age? Just people were talking about his skin. I don't know what his skin had to do with it, but they were talking about like they made Canelo old real fast with this performance, bro. People are crazy, bro. People are mad crazy, man. Right? Automatically, you lost to Crawford. It's like you're old, you're this, you're that. All the shit starts coming on. But valid enough, a lot of people believe that Canelo is losing steam. You think he's losing steam? You just mentioned the age, man, and who is Canelo competing with then? If you're making him old, like who is this exhibition Canelo now from now on? Like what are we doing, right? I think they're losing to Canelo.
I'm gonna jump out and come back in 2 seconds. I'll answer that question because I'm entering a different area.
All right,
Sorry.
don't worry about it. If not, you can stop by a little later on the show. All right. All right. Shout out to my man Quest. And I know there's many of y'all out there, man. The link is up. You could go ahead and use the link. It's posted and starred up there. So go ahead and call in. The lines are open, whether you're on IG, Twitch, X. Shout out to the X family who's been holding it down too. We're going to go ahead and continue the actual interview. Let's see what my man Canelo was saying.
De hasta donde he llegado para representar a mi país.
Straight back. Right here. Can you describe what it was like for you fighting Bud, what he was doing that was giving you the kind of problems that you couldn't really do enough to get what would have been, I guess, a close decision?
Y para todos, ¿cómo fue enfrentar a Bud Crawford, los problemas que te dio y cómo
They got the Spanish translation.
ir con tus planes?
We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and
Yeah, bro. Look, I'm looking at him. He don't look that bad, dude. He don't look bad at all. Your boy. Got a little bit of redness. Let me put it on the big box real quick. Yeah, he got a little bit of redness right here. All right. Nothing too crazy. Y'all were making it seem like Canelo got beat the hell out of, bro. Y'all are crazy. Shout out to my man Crawford. He did his thing. But beating the shit out of Canelo wasn't one of them. So even though he lost, it was more on points, really more than anything. You know, he got outclassed. He got outclassed like he got outclassed by Floyd. You know what I mean? He just couldn't get to him. He couldn't get to him. And then when he was in the pocket, you had somebody that was actually pushing back. And this is what I'm saying, man. My man fought the perfect fight. Perfect fight. Crawford, he didn't allow himself to get tired. No, and shout out to his team, man. Bomac and the whole crew, bro. The whole crew, man. The advice that I was hearing, you know, in the corner was official. All the advice that and both corners were giving great advice. It's just that every time I took a listen into the corner for Crawford, I would hear Bomac say the perfect things, man. Yo, try the double jab now, you know? Try the double jab now. Throw the jab at the handle. Throw it at the hand. Like, there was some real gameplay, game time shit going on, man. And it was just a perfect night for Terence Crawford. Canelito did his best, bro. I'm telling you, you can't write off Canelo right now. You can't write him off just like that. Let's continue the actual.
And he deserves all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Yo, he said everything. And what was it out of Crawford's, out of everything that he actually had problems with? I think it was the movement that gave Canelo the that movement and that really herky-jerky kind of, you know, style that Crawford was showing him. He was showing him a lot of feint movement with body and kind of pawing with the hand as he was coming in. He was keeping Canelo thinking at all times. What up, Quest? You back from outer space now?
Yeah, man. No more alien civilization over there. Sorry, brother. So yeah, I mean, listen, everything you're saying is right, and I agree. You know, what Crawford did was, you know, he was playing in some cases to Canelo's strength in order for his game plan to work. So he got Canelo to the point where he wanted to rush in, and he even let him throw some body shots so he can catch him, you know, with a quick hook, a quick here, and then move. What Canelo's used to doing is once he gets you to the rope, he kind of pins you there. And what Crawford did a couple of times was he watched everything Canelo did. I don't think Crawford blinked that much throughout the entire fight. His eyes were fixated on everything Canelo was going to do.
Yo, you're going out. You sound like a robot. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Am I better now?
Nah, you keep cutting in and out, man. Just whenever
man.
you got some real, yeah, I don't know why either. All right, whenever you get some good service, come back on for sure, my brother. Appreciate you, man. All right, yeah, man. The service is super choppy, man. You know what that does to the audio family? You know what I mean? It's like bloop 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 bloop. But let's take a look at some of these highlights, all right? And see what kind of work we really were looking at last night. It was a master class, and I mean, let's continue some of the audio.
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything.
And just one more, Canelo, it has been, I can't even know the number of years it's been since you've been without a world title.
Yeah, this is the guy who rubbed it in and shit. Your boy rubbed it in. Let's skip that.
You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right?
Sometimes you try and your body cannot go. I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means, man. just makes you think about what exactly did he mean by that. Let's take it back a little bit, actually, to maybe something that was asked.
Was coming through. You put your hands down, you shook your head. What were you feeling?
Yeah, you know what? Shout out to Radio Raheem. He was actually the one that asked this question, which was a great question to ask, because at times we did see Canelo Alvarez, and I'll stand up. Let me switch to cam mode real quick. If you guys remember, man, there was at times where Canelo would just kind of like, either he would like flow with a punch that was just thrown by my man Crawford, but then he would like jump up and go. He'd be like, it's almost like he was like, damn, man. And he wasn't even looking at Crawford. He would look at Crawford like sideways and shit, and just kind of jump and give you that frustrated look, you know? It was a frustrated look. It's crazy. It's crazy to see him like that. And that's when I believe, and I'm going to go back to some of these highlights, right? That's when I saw Canelo coming in real, like, hardcore. Man, I'll stand back up for that one. Yeah, I saw what my man Canelo did. Canelo came in, bro, on some shit where he was mad calm, and then he just darted. That's where that headbutt happened. He just darted at him. He was like, you know, when you duck under? Came at him mad hard, and he pinned him against the ropes. I know y'all saw that. Mike is out here. Oh, man. But, yeah. Definitely. We're going to bring Quest, we're going to bring you back on one more time, champ. If your audio messed up, we're going to have to send you to the shadow realm, all right, champion?
Hey, get the fuck out of here, because I'm gonna fuck you out right now, motherfucker.
Yo. Yeah, Quest, we're gonna take a look at some of these highlights too, bro. I want to really see, like, you know.
How is my audio now?
Audio is way better now. You're not choppy. You know, you still sound like you're far away. Obviously, you're using the phone microphone. So
the phone directly, yes.
So, but if you start chopping up right now, I'll let you know. All right.
I
Chop
know.
it up now, champy.
Yeah, you're gonna call
Let's go. I didn't even hear that. So I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Nah.
That's impossible.
Go ahead.
There's no way you can't hear me.
Now I can hear you.
I know you can hear me. Yeah. All right. Good. So, you know what? So to be honest, let's summarize like the overall performance of Canelo, right? Canelo admitted he was, without saying it, that he was slower this fight and he couldn't figure it out. Does that mean that Crawford is that much better than most of his other opponents? Could be. Does it mean that the mind of Canelo is working, but the body just isn't working, like he was kind of alluding to, which is what I was touching on before? I think that's more likely the scenario. I think Crawford gave him fits, and because his mind was working, but the body wouldn't react, he couldn't pull the big trigger. Does Canelo still have fights left in him? Absolutely. I think he should, right after this fight, he should say, I want Charlo. Charlo's been calling him out for, I don't know, give me Charlo. I think that would be a perfect fight for him, because Charlo, even though he has a little bit.
Who are you talking about? Canelo?
Yeah.
Canelo fought Jermell. You're talking about Jermall Charlo?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that would be a great step back into a big fight, because, you know, you fought one Charlo and he just went for a payday. This Charlo was the one who's like, I really wanted him from years ago. Well, listen, I didn't look great.
I like the story. I like the storyline on that.
It's a beautiful storyline, and it's a great lead, because it's another big
I beat up both brothers, type of shit, right?
Yep. And then when he decide, you know, I think he'll beat him. And then he could always say, listen, I had a bad day against Crawford, but I'm back. And now that lines up a possible Benavidez fight for, you know, in September for maybe his last fight, which I still think Benavidez will whitewash him.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think you can create a storyline that builds up to that fight where he's like, I didn't want to do it, but now I'm going to do it. And you kind of already see the writing on the wall. He always said he wanted to stop fighting at 37. He's right around the corner from that, that time frame and that date where it's going to be the last one. And I think that'll be an amazing lead up. You fight one of the Charlos just to get back in the winning column, or fight, if not Charlo, like who's left in the 168 division that he hasn't beaten that he's going to fight and not have much, and Billy, I think that would be a good fight. I think he would outskill Mbili.
Canelo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's a tailor-made fight for him because he's a better skilled boxer. Still has enough movement, and then Billy just wants to knock you out. And that kid who fought against him, Martinez, that's somebody.
Lester Martinez.
Oh my Lord! If he was in there with anybody else, he would have got a knockout victory. Both of those guys proved their worth in that fight, and gonna have some big fights lined up. I don't know if Crawford's gonna want to go in there against either one of those guys, which he'd be smart not to, because no matter how much skill he has, all it takes is that one big punch, and both of those guys were throwing bombs at each other. That
was
to me
probably,
was
to me that was that one, and the Sergey Brandon Adams fight was probably the most exciting. Even though the Crawford and Canelo had me at the edge of my seats, if I was gonna say like blow for blow, bro, these guys were really giving us a fight. Shout out to Santi. Santi, my man Santi. Damn, haven't heard from you in a minute, champ. He says, how can I call in, Doomy? Just click the link, brother. It's there on the chat. It should be starred and marked at the top, pinned up. Hit me up. I want to call if impossible. Yeah. Just click on the link, man. It'll take you right in there. Bring you right on the queue, bro. Shout out to my man Santi. But yeah, bro, these guys were beating the hell out of each other. It was crazy. Let's take a look at some of these highlights, man, to try to see some of this master class, right? Try to break down some of this greatness, man. I can't give him enough credit, bro. He just did everything. He did everything right. And right when I thought he was gonna make a mistake, because he got into some firefights, but he didn't stay in there too long, and then he would get right back to that range. It was pretty impressive, man. Let's see. Let's get that. There we go.
Round one of the super fight for the undisputed super middleweight title.
Big right hand from Canelo blocked.
Body shot got through for.
You saw that body shot? You've seen that body shot, right? Watch.
Body shot got through for.
That body shot, he was throwing it all night.
Canelo blocked.
Right there. And he did, Terence Crawford at the press conference, he said that he was blocking them. He wasn't blocking all of them. He was just, he was conditioned and he was in shape, but that punch landed really solid right there. That wasn't no look, watch the replay. That landed right there, bro.
Body shot got through for Alvarez. Two good shots for Alvarez.
What did you think about the body work that Canelo was giving him? Did you think that it was a hopeless aim, or do you think that it was something that was going to work out for him? How did you feel about that?
So in fairness, even though I thought Crawford was going to win by decision, I felt that if it was Crawford.
Whoa! You went out. You're going out, champ.
Yeah.
You're going out, champ.
I'm here.
All right.
No, I'm here. In order for Canelo to win the fight, he would have to go to the body early, and it would be a fight of attrition after that to see what Crawford could do in the second part of the fight, because Canelo is a throwback fighter now, where he has to beat you up to the body to slow you down. That also brings down your hands, which then allows him to bring the shots up top that would knock you out. I think that he tried, but in the first 3 rounds, as far as controlling the ring, Crawford did that. He didn't allow him to get there so he can settle in. And he tasted a couple of punches, just like that. He tasted a couple of straight rights. But I'm going to say that Crawford did not lie when he said that the power that he was getting hit cleanly by didn't affect him, because not one of those punches slowed him down or made him clinch for anything more than a second to turn for him to get back into his groove. And even that body shot, it was early, so you would expect him to eat it better. But there was a time in the 9th round and the 10th round where Canelo won the round and he was doing some good work. And Crawford was backpedaling, just saying, okay, well, let me angle this, let me angle that. And, was thinking. And Canelo was getting shots in and hit him with a couple of good, clean rights. I mean, even though Canelo will say that I didn't hit him with my best shot, granted, maybe he didn't. It looked like he caught him clean. But right after he got shot right in the chin a couple of times, Crawford took a couple. Okay, let me.
Whoa. Whoa.
Let me regroup.
He said, call him regroup.
So, that's kind of, yeah.
All right, good.
So, he would get hit and then, take a step or two back and regroup. Like, okay, he got that one in. And even Crawford, I think in mid-fight, when he got caught with something, would nod. Yeah, okay, good one. You got one in. But then he would respond immediately.
He hit him with some good right hands that were flush to me. I don't know if it was flush, but it wasn't like the distance was short. It was almost like Canelo was catching him right at the end of the punch. Even though it was a solid punch, Crawford would always kind of, curl in backwards and get out of the way just enough for the punch to hit him. But I don't think that Canelo ever hit him with a super solid shot. And I think Canelo even said that in the press conference. He never managed to actually hit him with a solid shot, and that just goes to the skill, right? And how he moves around and is able to kind of just get out of the way. And yeah, man.
I think one of the more interesting portions of the post-fight interview isn't the fact that he was like, "Yo, I just couldn't hit him. I wasn't able to get off. I couldn't figure him out." I think the whole, and people are always going to do this, but when they asked him, and he's been in the ring with both, how would you compare him to Mayweather? He's much better than Mayweather.
Yeah,
and remember,
a lot of people are going crazy about that. You know what I mean?
And I'm going to tell you something. Mayweather and Crawford are different fighters, right? Mayweather turned into Money Mayweather, where he was like, I don't want to get touched. I'm just going to throw a couple of punches and listen, whether you're a Mayweather fan or not, he has great legs and great stamina because he loves to run. Crawford, on the other hand, is a fighter who obviously you saw in this fight was able to move around, not get hit for a couple of seconds, regroup, let the guy get tired with him, but was also willing to engage anytime he felt that he needed to get that respect back. There were 4 rounds where Crawford came out and initiated the fight in the middle of the ring. In the 12th round, Crawford was the one in the middle of the ring and Canelo was the one circling. So that shows a very, very different type of situation for Canelo, where a guy was willing to run at you and then stay there and then back off to it, not to admire his work, but to go to stage 2.
But to be honest, the last 2 rounds, you saw Crawford pulling the skull move. He was running. He wasn't trying to engage. I don't know if you don't remember that, but he started to run at the end. And
Let me ask you a question.
That frustrated Canelo even more. He was so confident that he had all the rounds in the bag that he was like, to me, when he did that, I was like, wow, bro. He is so confident that he won this fight already. And to me, honestly, like me, since I was also betting on Canelo and whatnot, I got a little mad. I was like, damn, tell me he's going to start doing this like I already beat you type shit. But let's bring on my man Santi real quick. Stay with us on the Q quest. We're gonna bring on Santi and let him give us his take. Santi, man, welcome back. Has been a minute.
Hey, dude. Long time no see. It's been a minute. Yeah, just hang in there. Dealing with life's ups and downs, but like Rocky said, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving. And you know better than anybody how hard I can take a punch.
That's right, champ. Shout out to my man Santi, man, one of the alumni, right? Back in the day, champ.
Ooh, bro, we did training together too.
You feel me?
Bro, I still got the mitt work videos, man. You're a pretty good mitt man, bro. That's for sure.
Hey, man, hopefully next time we kick it, we can do some pad work together again, just like then.
Absolutely, bro. So what's your take on this fight? Who did you have as your bet? And how do you feel about the results? And what does the future look like for Canelo and Crawford?
Well, obviously, like everybody else, I thought Canelo was gonna walk away with a decision. I did think he might hurt him, maybe knock him down. Obviously, my big concern was the move up in weight, the bulking up. You know, seeing what it did to a guy like Roy Jones, seeing what it's done to other guys that have tried and failed to really make that weight adjustment. But Crawford looked like he did what he needed to do. And unfortunately, something that I did have to say earlier too. Whether it's 147 to 175 in his 15, 20-year career, Canelo still struggles to fight against outside fighters. What do you think of that?
Definitely, and that was what even before, before the betting, before I even honed in on Canelo for that bet, I always said, man, that if Crawford fights the perfect fight, if he uses his feet, he's going to win the fight. He's going to dictate whether he gets knocked out or not. It was all on Crawford. And the discipline that he's shown in his life, period, showed in this fight. Because at times he could have gotten into more of a firefight, but he stood his ground, listened to his camp, and he fought the perfect fight, bro.
Right style, right opponent, right temperaments all around, and it's just like
the size, even this everything. Like he carried everything so well into the fight that all the arrows that were pointed against him, like the bro put up the freaking Spartan shield and shit shot back at everybody with all the doubt they had on him.
No, man, he made everybody eat their words. I mean, at the end of the day, I was there keeping score with Fern. We were watching the fights. We
Shout
both
out
had
to
it.
Fern, man.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta remember to let him know he can come on here sometime too. I'm pretty sure he'd love to do that.
Absolutely, bro.
But
my man Fern, more than welcome, man.
Hell yeah, bro. I mean, but yeah, no, we both had it 9-3, 117, 111 for Canelo, and Fern of all people had to give Canelo a gimme round. So like that tells you like the difference in scoring between like what we were watching and what the judges were watching too.
So wait a minute, what was your scorecard again for Canelo or for Crawford?
I'm sorry, for Crawford.
Okay, so it was 119 what?
9-3, 117, 111.
117, 111. Okay, yeah. And Fern had one of the scorecards for Canelo?
No, I'm sorry, no, we both had it for Crawford.
For Crawford? Okay.
We both had it for Crawford, and Fern had to give one of the 3 rounds he gave to Canelo as a gimme.
The little swing me round?
Yeah, he just said, I'm just gonna give him a bone. Like that's how bad he had it.
He gave him the compa round and shit.
Yeah, basically, bro. I mean, I was just like, bro, you're trying. And I know people were fucking trying to find the fight closer than it actually was.
And I'll ask you the question that we've asked all the listeners, right? Do we still want to see a Benavidez versus Canelo fight?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we really need to get off this mindset that once a fighter loses a fight like this, it's over. Because, I mean, give credit where credit's due. And like Canelo said it himself, I'm in this career to take risks. And, the better man won tonight. Crawford gave Canelo his respect, his due. Canelo returned his stride. He didn't make excuses like other fucking fighters I know that are so quick to be like, oh, he ran for me all night. If he would have just stood and fight, I would have won the fight. No, Canelo could have fucking gone that route. He had the clout for it. He didn't.
Mad class too. Mad class. I think that his reaction and his the way he spoke in the interviews, bro, it kept him, even though he lost, it kept him in that high vibe. I guess feeling for him. I didn't see even the people that were diehard Crawford fans, that could be rubbing it in every step of the way.
No, and I mean,
weren't even getting at him like that, man.
No, you know what? Like, I know some people took it the wrong way, but like when I saw Crawford's ring walk, the first thought that crossed my mind was, how the fuck does this guy know about Desperado? When I saw the mariachi case come out him channeling his inner fucking Antonio Banderas. I'm like, who the fuck remembers this movie anymore? Like, I give it to Crawford. He had fucking balls and he backed them the fuck up.
For sure, them belts coming with me.
Bro, he came out with the guitar and everything. They didn't know what was going on. And then the Te quiero tequila blanco. Yo, when that shit came on, I was like, bro.
Yeah, that was just, I could not be mad at that. I could not be mad at that.
I'm like, bro, he's trolling. But at the same time, he did have Mexican fans in there, bro. And he did have a part of that crowd, bro. It was a huge crowd. Shout out to Allegiant Stadium, man, and the production. I know Netflix does. There was I guess multiple organizations involved in all that happened, right? But beautiful, bro. The back out, the way they backed out of the stadium, and you would get the full view of the entire stadium, and everything, the way it was set up, bro. It was prime, man. Super prime. So where does Canelo go from this? But what's the best move for Crawford? That's actually the next poll. We're going to close this one out. Do we still want to see a Benavidez versus Canelo fight? 67% said yes. 33% said no. We'll end that one.
No,
so
and I'm
the best
with
move
the
for Crawford, man? Does he stay at 168? Does he go back to 154? I mean, I heard him say something on the pressure that he's not going down to 154, or at least to fight Jaron Ennis.
Well, I mean, if he's as smart as I think he is, because he definitely seems like the intelligent type of fighter, he'll know better than anybody not to go down so drastically in weight. I think he'll probably maybe consider moving down to 160 first, maybe take a feel out fight there, maybe like a little gimme, fight.
Man, bro's in Grand Theft Auto right now.
Yeah, it's LA, bro. But yeah, no, I think Crawford's next move is probably just deciding where he feels more comfortable at now, because I definitely think if he makes it to 154, it'll be more of a strain now than when he first tried to make 154. I definitely don't think he makes 147 anymore, not after making 167 and a half.
Yeah, they both weighed in at 167 and a half. It was surprising to see him so, so big, and then to tower kind of a little bit at times. I would see him like, bro, am I just catching the right angle, or because there's angles, right, where you just look bigger. But he was genuinely from the front, like when he's in that at the actual weigh-in, not the ceremonial, but he was actually in the weigh-in with no shirt. Like, bro, look at his lats. It looked like he had just gotten a pump. When you want to get a quick pump and shit, get a good pick in there, you hit like a quick 50, bro.
No, and see, that's where my main concern was, because like you do me, you exercise. You've seen my work ethic too. So you and I are both well versed in the understanding of the dangers of bulking up in muscle alone.
For fighting is bad. For fighting.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize that some of the things you give up trying to bulk up is like it's harder to hold a block because now your whole chest is wider, right? Your muscles need more oxygen, so it's using up more stamina. And those were my biggest concerns when I was leading up to this fight. Is like, is Crawford gonna have the stamina to do what he needs to do? Because he can, as long as the tank holds up, as long as Canelo doesn't work the body, as long as Canelo doesn't cut off the ring. Everything that needed to go right went right that night. Like you said, he fought the perfect fight.
So what's Crawford's next best move, or best next move, excuse me? We have the poll up. Either stay at super middleweight, go back down for legacy fights, which could be either 154, right? I guess that 147 is long gone now. And chase the biggest money fights, which is something that I think he earned at this point, bro. I think that when he was asked in the presser last night about a Jaron Ennis Boots fight, he said, he's not fighting at 154, so he's already flexing and showing that he's gonna tell you where to fight him. So he could chase those big fights, which we would want to see a Crawford Jaron Ennis, right? That was one of the guys that when he first stepped up, he was the guy that nobody wanted to fight. Jaron Ennis was kind of sort of like in the position that Terence was in, right, for a while, where you couldn't just, you couldn't get fights, right? But now that he's with Eddie Hearn, with the right money, that fight could possibly happen, but not at 154. So, Jaron Ennis at 168, what do we get from there? Or retire on top. Is this the time to go?
I mean, it's up to Crawford at this point. I mean, he clearly seems like he has a plan. He has an exit strategy in place that he doesn't plan on deviating from. I think that he's earned the right not to search for the money fights anymore, but to have the money fights come to him now. I mean, you don't get better clout than being like, oh yeah, I won a title at 154, my first fight. Then I just went 2 weight classes up and got an undisputed fucking championship reign. Like, you could get the bigger guys to literally be like, I can take this little guy down, and you can get the smaller guys to be like, I can come up and beat this guy. The challenges can come to him now at this point. Like, I don't think Crawford needs to be going out and searching anymore. I think his performances with Spence, his performances with Canelo, if they want to do a rematch, I'm all down for that. But I think Crawford's earned the right to pick and choose who he wants to fight at this point, especially if he's on his way out.
And just going back to the Canelo, where does Canelo go? I know for a while we entertained Canelo versus Earl Spence Jr. Is that a fight that still can happen? And do you think that was a fight that maybe Canelo would be interested in? Now that, we've seen the results, I guess, of what Terence did with Errol, and they both lost to Errol, so we get like a barometer fight. What do you think? Is that still a good fight, or Canelo's too much for Earl?
I mean, I definitely think Canelo even now is still too much for Earl. I think we still need to see a little bit of what Earl has left in him, because when we're talking about wear and tear with Earl at this point, we have to take into account, the accident and everything, lack of a better term, the beatdown that Crawford gave Spence.
Damn, you just got hit by the GTA right now.
Yeah, man.
They knocked you over right now.
Nah, bro. They can't catch me. They trying though. Hey, but but honestly, I think Canelo's best move would be maybe if he wants a gimme fight, because Canelo at this point has also earned a gimme fight. I mean, 3rd loss in his entire career, almost 70 pro fights. It's like he could do the Benavidez fight if he feels like, okay, now is the time to make that fight happen. He could entertain the Spence fight if Spence feels like he's up for it. It's going to be interesting to see what he chooses to do next. But one thing I will tell you is that both guys definitely play into his style. He's not going to need to be the one chasing. He's going to be the one waiting for them to come to him. And he can have that if he wants. But my advice to him would be to start figuring out how to make the type of adjustments where you cut off the corner, work the body, because he did none of that fight. Everything that you're taught to do as an inside fighter, I mean, things that I do, dude, like things that you've seen me do in my fights, Canelo doesn't do. He doesn't cut off the ring. He's following, being led, getting countered on the straight line. Yeah, he gets his head out. Yeah, he gets a counter off here and there. But even then, Canelo was coming with the combination punches. I mean, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he gets a little predictable. That's one of the things that Canelo has, right? Where, he has a certain style where you can pick up on certain patterns. And, it just goes to the IQ, man, that Terence Crawford showed in there. Their whole team, they worked on a lot of things that got Canelo so frustrated that my man was shaking his head and his arms out. So, the style was, he couldn't figure the style out. And that's what Canelo said. He couldn't figure it out, Let's actually take a look real quick too, man, which I give much respect for Crawford doing this. A few fighters do this. I don't know if it's a tradition or whatnot, but this is when he gave him the belts back, right?
Class act all around for both men. Like, shout out to them, neither having excuses and both of them being just stand-up men.
Bro, look at that Super Bowl ring, bro. Look at that Super Bowl ring right there. Yo, that thing opens up. That's the WBC ring. So when you open this ring up, what it is the actual Allegiant Stadium inside. That's what that is the Allegiant Stadium. So when you open it up, the Allegiant Stadium is inside the ring with the ring inside there. That's a hell of a ring right there. And look, he gives him the belts back, which is pretty dope. For sure, my man Crawford's invited to the carne asada,
Terence,
man.
congratulations.
All day.
Magnificent performance tonight.
Let's see what he has.
Seemed like the first 3 rounds you were trying to just figure them out. Was that the game plan and start turning it up maybe in round 4?
Well, the first 3 rounds, you know, I felt like I was in control. You know, I think he was trying to figure me out.
Did you?
Yo, the confidence too, man, that Crawford showed in the press conference, the whole press conference, he was super confident. He wasn't letting anybody get no slack.
I mean, take it from a guy who's been hit by a car and got up at the count of 8. When you can say that you've taken a bullet and driven yourself to the hospital, there's not a lot that's going to faze a man like that.
Yo, so, you know, a question too, man, for everybody listening in, and I direct it to my guest host right now, Santi, is, you know, did Canelo show decline, bro, or was Crawford just a little too good, you know? Because I don't want to take away from Crawford's win. We've been doing that to him his entire career. Are we going to do it again? Are we going to say that Crawford, you know, Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo too young, Crawford's going to fight him too old. So, you know, what is you know, you never win, right? When do you actually catch Canelo at his best? I think that to say that Canelo wasn't at his best or that he's on his way out just kind of diminishes a little bit of what Crawford has done, and I think it's unfair. We done that his own career.
And I mean, to add to that too, it takes away from what we do know is Canelo's work ethic. You know, at this point, you know, we followed his career since the age of 15 when he was actually a welterweight, right? Like when he was fucking fighting Carlos Baldemir. Who remembers him? You know, fuck that guy.
Carlos Baldemir, damn.
I mean, so I think, no, again, like Canelo said, you know, the better man won that night. You know, Crawford had the right style to give Canelo problems. Canelo failed to make the adjustments needed so that his style could be effective against someone like Crawford, you know. And so I feel like this is just one of those things where a great little man beat a great big man, and he showed out. You know, you definitely have to include him there as like top 5 of a generation right there.
I ain't never been down yet.
Shout out to my man Santi, brother. Thank you for stopping by, giving us your take, man. You're more than welcome to always stop by the show. You already know. Shout out to my man Fern too, man. Let him know, man, that he's welcome to come on, bro. You know, y'all my bros. So appreciate y'all, and of course, let's see what's next for either of these fighters. Shout out to my man Santi, all the way from Cali, LA. Stand up, cheer. Yeah, man. Man, Canelo Alvarez, man. Where do we go? But you know, again, there was other highlights in the entire event. We have the poll up right now. If you are on YouTube, you're privy to it, right? What's Crawford's next best move, or what's Crawford's best next move? Excuse me. Stay at super middleweight, go back down for legacy fights, or chase the biggest money fights, and or retire on top. Let me do a check-in on the IG family. Shout out to my man Tank. Shout out to the 8 from 908. Rith, stand up. Shout out to the whole IG family. Familia, excuse me. You know me, Dolo, Manolo, Solo, hitting everybody with, I'm like the Matrix right now. Shout out to the IG fam, man. Again, y'all, you know what I'm doing out here. So I got to get to everybody, right? Got to make sure I stop by every platform and show some love, champy. That's what I do. Shout out to the X family too. You know my X family be rolling with me, man. Shout out to the X family, man. Make sure you hit that like button or the heart button. Much appreciated. You know you help out a lot when you do so. Been doing this for a little bit. If you're just stopping by and meeting me for the first time, Alex Doomsday Linus is the name. Boxing is the game. All right, so shout out to the IG family as well. Let's see the engagement here. No quotes right here. All right. Wow, not one like. What's up, X fam? Damn. Y'all in here with me. Shit. Love y'all though. Still appreciate y'all. But you can obviously stop by. The links are up for the StreamYard. If you want to stop by and give your take on last night's main event or undercard, you already know. You can stop by here and handle your business. This is the Boxing Biz. And let's see what else we got here. Where were we? Oh, yeah, the undercard fights, right? Who do you think deserved the performance bonus? There wasn't a knockout bonus, right? Because there was a knockout bonus and a performance bonus. I believe it was $100,000 that these fighters were supposed to get for that performance bonus. What do you think? Who deserved the performance bonus, really? I think, as far as like nitty gritty fighting, it's either between Sergey Boatchak and Brandon Adams, right? In that fight, and in which Brandon Adams won, so he should get the performance bonus. But you have also the Christian Mbili and Lester Martinez fight. Both those guys, even though it was a draw, I don't know if you get a performance bonus if it's a draw unless you get a double bonus, right? You get one for each of the guys, which they deserved it. It was a very entertaining fight. Very entertaining fight. Besides the main event that I was so excited for, those two fights proved to be pretty good. And the entire undercard was good. My man Javier Martinez obviously got put out. Marco Verde got the TKO. And shout out to Sultan Alam Hamed. Forgot what the nickname was, but it was his debut. He did a good job. Ivan Daiko, I think he might have gotten a little robbed there, buddy, which had me worried for what the judging was going to look like for the main event. I mean, I don't know what planet. Not to take nothing away from Jermaine because he made it a dogfight. And as much as I wanted to say he wasn't in shape, I got to remember that there is an Andy Ruiz that proved us all wrong, right? Body shape don't usually dictate, not always, on how healthy or how your stamina is built out. And Jermaine showed some heavy overhand rights. Heavy. I mean, he was in there and showing us, but I don't think he did enough to take the dub, but he did. So shout out to my man Jermaine. All right, so Saul Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. This is the post-fight show, man. And to be honest, I don't even know what else to say about how great of a fighter Terence Crawford is, bro. Like, he had everything in line. Speed, carried the weight. Once he started absorbing the punches, it's just, man, it's crazy. But I had the highlights up. I really do want to go over some of the highlights of the fight, just to take a look at some of the actual live action that we had last night and just try to see where exactly Canelo went wrong and where Crawford went right. Let's see. All right. I'm going to bring them up. Oh, my God, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. That was a sneezer right there. Whew. All right. Let's take a look at some of these highlights, though. I gotta watch it because I don't know, man. YouTube, I be having to write multiple appeals sometimes because these guys get out of sync over here. That's why I make it smaller sometimes with you guys because, jeez. All right, so this is the highlights right now from last night's fights. Let's take a look at the right from the beginning, the first round.
Big right hand from Canelo blocked.
See, that body shot again was the shot that I kept saying that you see that double jab? This double jab, bro, was giving Canelo so much problems last night. It was giving Canelo hella problems, bro. This little jab right here. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and give you the big box. Why not? You see Canelo Alvarez, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to get this big box. I'm going to be watching right over. Excuse me. If you guys can see right now, what you're going to see, right? You're going to see right now this lead. And, yo, my man Crawford stayed as a southpaw most of the fight, if not all of it, bro. Say 90% of the fight, he was on southpaw. The team knew that was what was good. That was the stance that was going to give Canelo Alvarez hell. And they stuck with the game plan. You know, that's the power hand. When you switch over, if you're an orthodox fighter and you switch over to southpaw, your jab becomes dangerous. I know this because I'm a switcher. You know what I mean? Every time I switch to that, it's like, oh, why you switching, bro? Switching, it just feels great when you know how to fight with both styles, man. And that back right power hand becomes your lead power jab, bro. And you're able to do so much more, right? You could be ambidextrous, right? But when you right with that right hand and you put that hand in the front as a jab hand now, it changes the game. Even your lead right hook is crazy. They knew the game plan, but look at this double jab, right? And he was throwing it to the hand. Throw it to the hand, then throw it to the face. Look at the sweet science in play right now. Ooh, that was not it right now, even though he hit him with a couple of shots right there. There we go. This is it right here. Oof. You see that? Look at it again. Say it again. Look. Look, he paused the lead hand, then he jabs fast. So what y'all don't know is that, right? The way that lead hand works, all right? The way that lead hand works, that little pawing of the jab, right? When you pawing at that jab, say heel is this. All right. When you're pawing at the jab, right? This is the thing, y'all. Watch the sweet science. He pawed at the glove, but he didn't bring it all the way back. All right? I'm trying to make y'all see things for those that don't see it. All right? Paw the glove. You don't bring the hand all the way back. You act like you're doing it. So you give that false sense to your opponent, like, all right, he's resetting. But as you're going back, you immediately come back and jab into the face, bro. Had my man Canelo frustrated. That's that pawing at the lead hand. You know, if you ever wonder, like, yo, why are you telling me to hit the lead hand? It's because you're keeping them distracted. And eventually what happens is that timing is off right there. See, the timing that Canelo had in his mind, he's like, oh, and this happens in fractions of seconds. It's like, yo, he just pawed my hand. He got to reset. So I got a little bit more time. I'm a little more relaxed. He doesn't bring it all the way back. He just jabs it right back out there. Lovely work by Crawford. Let's get back to it so we can see it again. Boom. You see that? Look. And immediately you see Canelo get mad as hell. With that combination, oh man, I'm thinking I'm showing y'all. Oh man, let me bring it back then. The way Canelo right there shot right back in, right? He wanted that get back. Let me put it back up. Look at the get back, right? Immediately, right after that pawing jab. Boom. Got hit with some shit. Look at the combination. Jab, jab, jab. Body, body.
So far, Crawford is fighting his fight, and he has neutralized Canelo's offense. That was the first real bad intention.
It was a solid punch he hit him with there with too. Solid punch, but it wasn't, you know, it was a solid punch in the sense that, yeah, it was a hard punch, but it was caught. You know, it was only certain little punches, the straight rights more than anything. I think that's really like, that's the punch that gets to Crawford. That straight right hand, that step in right hand, which worked great for Madrimov. And Canelo had success with that too. You know, we got to give Canelo some credit, man. You know, this is not a roast Canelo show. You digs? Shout out to everybody in the community. Let me get back to it real quick. Damn, the Twitch fam in full effect, but that's some like trolling shit, robots. Yo, I think I need a moderator in my Twitch. You be having these people selling shit. Shout out to my man Omar Moon. Come to rub it in. Come to rub it in.
I tell him I'm the buckle. It hurt more.
Shout out to Omar Moon. Yo, Omar Moon says, stop, kid. I told you. I told you. Crawford is levels ahead of flat-footed Canelo.
Hey, get the fuck out of here because I'm gonna fuck you out right now, man.
Roasting my boy Canelo, flat-foot Canelo. Fight was easily 10-2. Canelo never beat nobody on Crawford's level. You see what I'm saying? There it goes. There it goes. And I'm not saying that is that Crawford is the only. Crawford's a one-of-a-kind dude, bro. And look, man, I wasn't hating on y'all picks. I wasn't hating on y'all if y'all picked Crawford. I really wasn't. That's the type of fight it was. You want to call me the smart pick? Yeah, the smart pick was going with all the attributes, the experience, and everything else, right? But if you really believed in everything, and I told y'all, if Crawford fights the perfect fight, then, you know, he's going to win this. And it's all on him if he gets knocked out, you know? And maybe I should have thought more about this, right? even myself, right? Maybe I should have had more confidence in the greatness, right, that Crawford is. But man, being out of the ring 2 years, putting on the weight in a short amount of time, there was just so much that I had to think about. So you know, that's why you know, especially if you're here with us on the betting show, right, which this week was kind of messed up here. So apologies to the Boxing Biz community. I was doing a betting show on the TBV platform, and it's only for membership, so we didn't get to talk too much. But you know, either you were betting on Crawford or Canelo for the straight money line, you know, and you were getting more money with Crawford, obviously. But so much that was going against Crawford that I decided to pick that way, you know. And I didn't put too much money on it. Don't lose your shirts, man. I didn't start this betting show, you know, for people to be like, damn, I lost mad money. Nah, we don't do that, you know. My man D.O. says going back to TVV is nasty work. Hold on, I'm going to get to you right now, D.O. Omar Moon says, I've been waiting for this live all night. Jesus, waiting to rub it into the kid. Damn.
I know Turkey's in your corner.
Yo, Turkey was in his corner, champ. My man DL says going back to TV is nasty work. It's not nasty work, champy. You know what I'm saying? It's something like just burying the old bullshit, right? And trying to start at least, you know, for myself, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that I let go of anything that was you know, messing my heart up, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, I was a part of that community for a long time, champy. Very long time, you know what I mean? Made very good friends, and you know, he was my best friend for a long time. So, you know, it's all love, champ. You know what I told you? Remember what I told you? Love conquers all, champ. We move forward, and we move righteous, or try to be, at least, you know, as much as we can, right? But Omar, champ, damn. Yeah, bro, you were right. You were right, and you stuck to your belief, and you went with it, you know? Again, the Vegas odds were the Vegas odds, you know? They were close, but, you know, they favored Canelo, man. And this was just a great performance. Great performance by Crawford, bro. Just you know, you gotta see it for what it is. We got a great fighter. Yo, 3 division undisputed, and there was a hell of a lot more. All right. And I should go back to the interview because the amount of accolades that were made in one night, they stacked. They were super stacked, bro. And the amount of accomplishments, besides the 3 division undisputed, he definitely had a bunch of other accolades that came with this win. And if I could find it for you guys, excuse me,
you know,
I will.
The cream always rise to the top. All the time that they blocked me out, they said I wasn't fighting nobody. I can't beat this dude. I can't beat that.
Wow. Know what's happening with the video here? Let's see.
To those who, you know, the cream always rise to the top. All the time that they blocked me out, they said I wasn't fighting nobody. I can't beat this dude. I can't beat that dude. Every time that I got a chance, I wiped the floor with him. Wiped the floor with him. So just imagine where I would have been at today if I had got them opportunities a long time ago. But then again, it wasn't my time. My time is now, and I'm happy that everything played out the way it did. And you're looking at the undisputed champion of the world right now.
Terrence, William King, Omaha, Nebraska. I got a question.
Bro, well said, man. Well said for T-Bud, bro. Where is it at?
Say I don't have no defense. You know, I get hit with these big shots, and you know that's what they was worried about. You know, hey, it's only so much that they can say now.
Down the stretch of the fight.
How much can we say now, right? How much can we say, really, to tell you the truth? Like, again, I know we're going to hear about, you know, Canelo being on his way out. Again, I don't want to go that route, you know what I'm saying? I want to just leave it at that. Canelo was at, you know, he had a great camp. The whole, like, surfacing of the injuries, both in Crawford and Canelo. I think Crawford was the shoulder, Canelo was the hand. And, you know, to try to diminish anything, man, it's just crazy, right? At the end of the day, Canelo didn't make any excuses in this. So, you know, doing that right there, trying to go back down that way, nah, not doing that. Shout out to my man Omar Moon, says, what you think about that Walsh fight, kid? Vargas Jr. looked like he didn't belong there. It's not that he looked like he didn't belong there, dog. It wasn't that. It was, you know, and again, this is what happens with guys that like that high guard. A lot of guys fall asleep in absorbing punches and doing this forward like march with this high guard and not really working on actually trying to hit targets. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he played counterpuncher too much. Caleb Walsh is a good fighter. He has the ability to become a great fighter, bro. But Vargas didn't look like he didn't belong in there. He just looked a little gun shy at times. That's what got him. You know, that's what messed him up. He would have threw more punches because he did land some good right hands on Caleb. It just looks like it looks like Caleb Walsh had him really like gun shy. You know, like he was afraid to get hit with some shit because he felt some of that power for sure. Caleb big as hell, bro. The way that he was sliding too, you know, Bivol style across the canvas, it was great. It was great to see that because, again, a lot of guys got to set into their feet, you know, set into a punch. There's very few guys that can actually slide in and slide out and be bouncing around and still hit you with some hard shots. I mean, the body shots that Caleb was throwing was something to be, you know, tentative about. You know what I mean? Kept them elbows in. But Vargas, he would have tweaked it a little bit more, bro. He probably would have won the fight, you know. Again, can't take nothing from Caleb Walsh. But there's levels, bro. And there's levels of want. There was a lot of pressure on Caleb, bro. You know, Dana White's guy, and, you know, they've been pushing him pretty good. I think they bought my man a house. It's crazy, you know. But Fernando Vargas, he didn't look like he didn't belong, for sure. You know, he looked like he belonged in there. He just got outworked. That's just it. And again, I don't know if it's like too, like when you would go back and hear, like, you know, you got Emiliano, George Capetillo, Fernando Vargas Sr., you got all three people, you know, giving directions. It's not that that's bad because you could be a team and coordinate, you know, what we're going to say, you know. It's just, it all goes back to experience too, you know, the experience you have. It was a big, bro, you're the co-main event of the Canelo fight. It's a huge fight. It's a lot of feelings, bro. A lot of shit goes into that. And I don't know. I don't know if that was something that didn't have that had him also in like the ooh-ah, where like sometimes he would go back and I'm like, yo, is he really paying attention to what they're telling him? Because, you know, it's not really showing out there. So, but kudos to Caleb Walsh for sure, bro. Dio says, I got to watch the fight again. Eli Setback scored it for Canelito. Little Cinnamon probably, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like, I watched the fight last night. And usually, you know, I always go back. I'm actually right now, I have it on right now. I was going to watch it right now with you guys anyway. So, I mean, if you guys wanted to turn this into a watch along, we can. I wish that I could actually show it without being freaking, you know, without being flagged up, right? But I actually have the fight up, and I'm gonna watch it again, and I'm gonna score it because sometimes I score it through being a fan, and I gotta get the emotions just like y'all. All the you know what the emotions I'm talking about, especially when it's a big fight. Hands get all sweaty and shit. You start shadow boxing and shit. Like, bro, it takes a lot for me to contain myself in this chair. Because when I'm not on, I'm in front of the TV. That's wifey. I'm yelling at the TV. I'm like, yo, hit him with a body shot. Like, it's a fun time. You know what I mean? So I probably will go back and watch it again after the show instead of right now, just to give it a fair shake on the scoring. But some people felt like that 115, 113 was giving Canelo too much. I don't know who Skipper is, but the Skipper scorecard last night was pretty good. Yeah, it was fair. So I don't know who Skipper is. If it's a new guy, I'm not privy to who this man is, but it was fun to see Skipper's card. we were counting on my man Skip's card to stay up on our own scorecard. And I didn't even have my scorecard, bro. That's what I'm saying. I didn't score it last night. I was trying to watch it like y'all, more than anything. Again, if you want to tap in with us, the link is up. And it should be pinned to the top. If you want to go ahead and click it and come on to the show, handle your business. You can come on video or just audio, no problem. So if you're on the chat, click on it, whatever platform you might be. Shout out to the Twitch family again, Facebook, YouTube, X, and IG. We tap back in with my X fam. Dion, shout out to the X family, bro. I still don't see nobody actually liking it though. That's pretty crazy. But I still appreciate y'all love, yo. Y'all showing me love, but y'all like from afar and shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like, yo, he's a cool dude, but I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm gonna give him the love. I mean, listen. I guess I gotta earn your love. Chill. Let's go.
I ain't never been down yet.
You know what I'm saying? Keep it growing. Keep it flowing. All right. Let's go back to the polls, too. I know I put up a new poll, didn't I? All right. What's Crawford's best next move? And as of right now, we have a 50-50 tie on two of the options on that poll, which is go back down for legacy fights. That's 50% of you guys believe that he can go back down and create some legacy fights. And let's take a look at this landscape while we're at it to see what legacy fights you guys are really talking about at the 150, or excuse me. Remember, Terence Crawford skipped the 160 pounds. You got to ask yourself now. Ask yourself now. 4-time undisputed. Stop playing. I don't even know what that is. 4-time undisputed. Will Crawford slide into the 4th-time undisputed slot? Bro, the way he was looking last night and the way I'm looking at this 160-pound division, wow. I mean, he could go in there and fight these guys. Bro, now listen, the Superman cape is here, champ, all right? Your man is Superman, all right? That's it. Bud can leap the Empire State Building in a single bound, bro. Why not bring him down to 160 undisputed? Undisputed at 160. At 154, he could take out some of these guys, bro. Listen, but we also got to keep in mind, obviously, Crawford is, a little older and maybe going down too much now. It wouldn't be the best idea. So, this game plan right now, going back to 160 pounds, Janibek is a problem. Eslandi Lara, who is the oldest champion we got right now, is that'll be a crazy win or a crazy fight, right? Since both of them, well, Lara's mostly obviously southpaw, but that'll be a good fight. But you got your Yoneli Hernandez, #1 at the WBA, okay. He's a problem. And, Hernandez, Yoenli Hernandez helped Canelo Alvarez for that fight. Miriam Nursultanov, Carlos Adames, who in my opinion beat my man Hamza. Hamza went straight back up. So it's Janovic problems down here. But given what Crawford just did, bro, I know all these guys right here are like, damn, where the hell is he going now? I know you guys have seen the meme with Terence Crawford knocking on each door and shit, like he's death, and all the other doors being X'd out, right? But now he's going to be knocking at the middleweight division, bro. If you're already undisputed at 168, he said he's not going up to 175. He's not going up there. So he's definitely going to be going down to 160, which would be an easier drop down since he put on that weight. It'd be easier to get down to 160 than dropping all the way to 154 and start getting some of this salsa down here. Yeah, which is pretty stacked at the top. Even though Xander damn, you could put Crawford against anybody now, bro. Virgil Ortiz, that's a dangerous fight. I think a Virgil Ortiz is like a Canelo Alvarez, but with more boxer skills, and that would be a very, very good fight. We've talked about the Virgil Ortiz Crawford fight in the past. Virgil Ortiz will probably be the next up right now to do it, right? To catch a title right now. Well, he has the interim with Honduras. Going up to 160. We got to see what kind of weight my man Virgil can put on, because Virgil Ortiz and Ryan Garcia were the next best thing that were coming out, right? Or one of the guys that were first mentioned in line for stardom. And as we well know, my man Virgil Ortiz just managed to prove that a little more than Ryan, since Ryan's he's been through a lot of ups and downs, especially out of the ring. So it's like, I guess the concentration wasn't there or whatnot. But I mean, look, Ryan's still a star, right? We all know that. He's a good fighter too, but I think Virgil Ortiz out of the two will just prove to be that guy. So Crawford has he has options, bro. He has big options to be able to go in there and disrupt and be undisputed at 160. Again, Janovic is a super problem, bro. Janovic, super, super problem. But he's holding two of the titles. So a fight with him, and then Carlos Adames and London, those are tough fights right now. To go in there, fight Janovic, to fight Islandi Lara, and then to fight Carlos Adames, those are hard fights. And I don't know if Crawford's really going to go for that. But what else is there to do? I mean, you could catch a title. You don't have to go for undisputed. You could just be just continue your multiple division championship route, catch a title there and catch a title at 154. He doesn't need to go straight into undisputed, but options are open. And Terence Crawford, I think he's older than Canelo, right? But still not super old. 37, right? I don't know if he just turned 38. And round-wise, 250-something rounds or whatnot, or 260-something rounds. So, man, bro, he could possibly do it, man. He could possibly go in there and catch another undisputed, or at least continue stacking multiple division championship crowns. Sky's the limit for my man Crawford, bro. And again, man, congratulations. Shout out to all my Canelo fans. We lost last night, champions, but it's okay, Canelo, bro, he can fight a few guys. Feel me? Stop playing. The headband's still here, so we still supporting Canelo over here, bro. And he gave Crawford an opportunity to be great. Everybody was always hating or scared or whatever it was. Canelo, that's why you gotta give him props, bro. Even in defeat, the way he acted, the humbleness, just everything, bro. He dared to be great, and Crawford rose up to the occasion. You digs? And you just gotta give Canelo credit, bro. Shout out to all my Mexicanos too, man. Even though Crawford was talking about some of y'all went home crying, I hope y'all didn't. Canelo really went for it, bro. And at times, like I said, I thought he was getting out of character, but it was just him trying to go for it. So it was still a good night for Mexico. We still had a good night of boxing. Undercard was great. Everything was great, man. Again, appreciate everybody that tapped in with me last night, too. I continue to tell everybody, man, listen, the community is growing. We could do some pretty cool things. I've been doing this for a while. Obviously, we're still on the up with this channel. But, we can blow up from 1 minute to another, man. So please share the program. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll keep showing up for you guys, and we'll do some pretty awesome things here in the Boxing Biz as we continue to build this community. And again, together we're stronger, and there's so much that we can do in a community, right? It all starts with boxing, the sweet science. But of course, many of us come from many facets of life, different types of jobs, different lives, and you just never know how much good we can do as a community. The common ground is boxing, and duly appreciate everybody that taps in every day with us. We'll definitely be coming back with another show tomorrow morning, so check us out tomorrow. And, we might have a late start actually tomorrow. I have to go get my car fixed. Unfortunately, somebody threw a door open and had a little fender bender. Thankfully, it wasn't my fault, and the insurance has paid it out and everything. But I gotta go get my car fixed. So we'll probably be looking forward to an afternoon show. So stick with us, hit the notification bell, and so you know when we're going live. And I think I have to open up the community page on YouTube. I don't think it's open. I haven't seen it active. So I'll open that up. But you can always reach out through any of the platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, NIG. I don't know it all. So I love it when the community reaches out to me with information that I'm not even privy to. Sometimes, you guys actually make the show. So I really do appreciate the interactions that I do have with many of you guys. Let me see the comments before I get out of here. My man Cut West, the wrench stepped in. Let's go, amigo. What you think about last night? Damn, my man Cut West, salute, Doomy. I was drunk off my ass last night after that fight. Yo. Bro, there was a lot of people that were saucy. I'm not going to lie, man. I was drinking like a little margarita style thing, little cut. What is it? My lady cuts it cut water, but I don't know if it's that, but whatever. Something light. Definitely good times last night for many people that were at the fight, people that were having the watch parties. It was just a good night of boxing. Again, nobody loses. And we can look forward to a newfound respect, right? No more shit talking my boy Crawford. He done proved everybody wrong, including myself, right? Which I thought he was fighting just too many. I felt like he was fighting too much of an uphill battle, but he proved that, God is with him, bro. Who against him? Cheer. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So welcome back. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. I'll try to see if maybe I can throw another show for the evening time. So again, just hit that notification bell, guys. Hit the like button, the heart. If you hadn't hit it already, maybe you softened up a little. Maybe you like me a little more to hit it. Hit that like, hit the heart, repost, share the program, and appreciate everybody that taps in. And we'll continue to banter. A lot of things are gonna be said and opening up, not only for these two, but for the other guys that fought on the card. Got a great lineup in the next 6 weeks of boxing. So we'll be here giving you the latest and greatest in boxing news. I'm out of here, guys.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about. Have your fucking cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round. Bitch, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.